What's going on, everybody? We're back with another video. Sorry, it's been a little while since my last upload. We've actually been in the process of moving, so we've had a lot on our plate. But today, I've got a 1998 Ford TRX 90. We pulled this guy out of the woods. The guy that I bought it from said that it had been sitting there for about 3 years, and this thing is completely shot. You can tell most of this machine is kind of rusted out and just in pretty rough shape. So we're gonna dig into this thing a little bit today. First, we're gonna go ahead and remove all these plastics, put some air in the tires here, and then we're gonna do a quick rinse down once we get all the plastics removed. So let's go ahead and hop into that. All right, guys, so we got it all washed up. So before we begin, the first thing I want to do is I want to check the oil in this thing and see if there's any in there. So let's do that real quick. And if you look on the dipstick, it doesn't look like there's any oil in there. And when I look down in there, I can't really see anything. So I guess we need to do a quick oil change on this before we start doing anything. That way we don't tear anything up. So let's go ahead and hop into that. So this is a really good sign. Absolutely no oil came out, so that's always a great start. So let's put this drain plug back in there, and I guess we'll fill it up with oil real fast. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some 10W40 in there. I think it calls for about 3/4 of a quart, so I'll go ahead and throw some in there before we start pulling this thing over. All right, guys, so we got the oil change in this thing. Next thing I want to do is just remove this gas tank real quick, and also the pull cord over here. It looks like it's stuck a little bit, so I'm just going to pop that cover off and fix that real fast. All right, guys, so we finally got our cover removed, and we got our pull start freed up. We took our gas tank, and we also took off our air box. So now we need to go ahead and check this thing for spark. All right, guys, there's our spark plug. As you can tell, it looks pretty clean on the tip, so this thing may have been running too lean, but we'll go ahead and pop this in the spark plug boot and we'll check it for spark. All right, so as you can tell, it does not have spark. So what I'm gonna do is, since I knew this thing sat outside for a while, I went ahead and bought a new spark plug. So we're gonna try to put that in there And also, I went ahead and ordered a new CDI online, which is right here. So we're gonna swap that out with a new CDI as well, and we'll see if that fixes our spark problem. So there's the old CDI. We're gonna go ahead and swap it out with a new one. All right, let's try it again with the new spark plug. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is getting spark. So now that we've got our spark figured out, let's go ahead and pop that back in the spark plug hole, and we'll go ahead and pull this carburetor off and get that cleaned. All right, guys, one last thing before we clean this carb. I just want to hit it with a little starter fluid and see if it'll pop over real quick. So let's do that real fast. All right, so it did pop over, so we know that it has compression and we've got our spark. So all we need now is to clean our carb and put our gas tank and everything back together, and we'll have fuel to get this thing up and running. All right, guys, so the next thing we want to do is get this carb popped off real quick, so let's do that. All right, guys, there's our carb. This is the original Kian carb here. And as you can tell, this thing is extremely dirty. So we need to get this cleaned up as best we can, put in the ultrasonic cleaner, and throw this guy back on and see if she'll run. All right, guys, let's go ahead and tear into this carb real quick. Oh yeah. Look how disgusting. Look how nasty that is in there. There's so much junk in the bottom. I can't even see the jet right here. There's so much gunk built up on it. So we're definitely gonna have to clean that well and put that through the ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, I'm gonna finish breaking this down and I'm gonna get it cleaned up the best I can, and then run it through the parts cleaner here. So I went ahead and pulled this thing completely apart, and as you can tell, this thing is full of gunk. I mean, you can't even see that. That's the jet right there, and you can't see it at all. I mean, it's completely filled with just dirt. But let's go ahead and throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner and we'll try to get it cleaned up the best that we can. All right, guys, so we got our parts. We're ready to throw them in the parts cleaner here, and this one's by far one of the nastiest ones I've ever had. These jets are completely clogged, but let's go ahead and throw it in here and see if it'll get clean. All right guys, so we got an update. We finally got our carb cleaned up and put back together. Now I did have to go ahead and buy a new bowl and some new jets for it because it was just toast. I'll show you the old bowl here. If you look, you can see it's got those holes in the bottom. I guess it's just corroded over time and it just leaks now. So we went ahead and replaced the bowl, and then also the petcock is completely clogged up on one side. So the bowl comes with that as well. So we swapped both of those out. And so this is the new carb here. We'll go ahead and put that on, and I'll see you guys once we do that. All right guys, so we finally got our carb reinstalled on the bike. We went ahead and got our gas tank put on there and our air box. And I do have a new air filter that we're gonna oil up and put in there real quick. And then we're gonna start this thing up so you guys can hear how it sounds. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put in our air filter. I've already oiled it up, so let's go ahead and put it inside the air box here. All right, we got our air filter in there. We'll go ahead and put the lid on it, and then we'll fire this thing up so you guys can hear how it sounds. So as you can hear, it is running and idling well. When I rev it up, there is a little bit of smoke that's coming out of the back, but I believe that's because before I started pulling it over, I put a little bit of oil down the cylinder just to lube it up since it's been sitting for a little while. But overall, I mean, this thing's running pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and put our plastics on, and we're gonna recover our seat, and we'll be ready to test drive this thing. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and replace the seat cover. I've already bought a new one, so we're gonna go ahead and throw that on. I'm not gonna worry about filling in these holes. It's just a kid's ATV, so I'm not really worried about it. But let's go ahead and get this old one off real quick. All right, so we got our old cover off. Let's go ahead and put our new one on. We'll go ahead and put in our first few staples, and then we'll go ahead and tack the rest in. All right guys, we got our new seat cover on. As you can tell, it looks a lot better. There is a big indentation right here from where the foam is missing, but again, that's okay. It's just for kids, so it's not a big deal. But let's go ahead and put this on. I'll show you guys the finished product with the plastics back on, and we'll go ahead and take this thing for a test drive. All right guys, so this is our finished product. As you can tell, it did clean up fairly well. Looks a whole lot better with that new seat cover, and the plastics cleaned up decent as well. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up, and we'll go ahead and ride it. So guys, unfortunately I hate to do this, but whenever I went to go ride this thing, I went to pull start it again, and the spring inside the pull start broke, and I tried to bump start it and I couldn't get it running again. And unfortunately I'm running out of time because we move in just a few days and I don't have time to wait for parts to come in. So for this video we're gonna have to cut it a little short, but I do appreciate you guys watching this and sticking with me, and hopefully I will have some more videos coming your way soon. Thanks.